Thank you. Let me introduce our speakers. We have two speakers here today, Colleen Mccourt, and we were supposed to have Ryan Lippert. Unfortunately, well, not so unfortunately for him, he got a new job, which he started on Monday. And so to go to his boss and say, hey, by the way, I want a day off on Wednesday, I don't think that would fly. So instead, we have Ivan Simokovic. Did I get it right?
Yes.
Thank you. Who is a longtime member of the TSART of the Toronto Search and Rescue people. So for Colleen, she's the chair of operations and media, PR for Toronto Search and Rescue, Marine. She works alongside organizations including the Toronto Police Service, the Toronto Fire Service in training, and search and rescue operations. Colleen has had experience in media relations, strategic planning, and government liaison. She has been active with Toronto Search and Rescue, including recent activities since last year. However, she's got just a huge background in including the air show. She has a lot to do with what happens there. Ivan, now let me see. I have to do this on my phone, and I've got it. There we are. Couldn't find the bio that he had printed, so this is a quick put together from him. As a kid, I grew up on the Danube River and was always attracted to boats and ships. He learned how to drive a boat at the age of 8. He bought his first boat in 2005. He joined Canboat in 2006. He became an education officer in CPS, ROC-M, and PCOC instructor in 2009. He became a commander of the Don Valley Squadron in 2016 until 2024. He got the Squadron of the Year award for the first time in 50 plus years under his leadership. He became the commander of the York East District in 2022 until 2025, when the districts merged. He joined TSAR in 2015. He became a commander in 2020, and he has volunteered in over 1,000 hours with CCGA. In 2012, he co-piloted a 48 motor yacht from Miami to Brecken. Where's Brecken?
Lake Simcoe.
Lake Simcoe.
Wow.
In 2023, he captained a 46 power catamaran between Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and Barbados. I would love to have been on that boat.
Sure, can barrel in a day later.
He's the unit leader at Toronto Search and Rescue Marine. So please give our guest speakers a warm shout-out.
Hi, I'm Colleen Mccourt, and as described, I'm the chair. So my role is administration, fundraising, governance, all of those kinds of things. And of course, you've heard the incredible resume of Yvonne, who is our unit leader. So although you didn't get Ryan today, I brought the boss. So we are a charitable organization of comprising of 50 members of that are all volunteers. We come from every walk of life. We have lawyers, we have firefighters, we have paramedics, we have PR people, we have Yvonne's background is, besides his incredible boating, he is a genius when it comes to IT and computers. And so we put out a call every year for volunteers starting in January to September, and people can submit their applications. They, like I said, doesn't matter. We teach you training. So and our role is on Lake Ontario. Primarily, our unit is the Toronto unit, but Yvonne will go into much more depth into all of the things we do. We're a proud member of the Canadian Coast Guard Auxiliary. So similar to the Toronto Police Auxiliary, we are the auxiliary arm of the Canadian Coast Guard. The interesting thing for the Canadian Coast Guard is that they have two locations. One is in Port Weller, and one is in Coburg. They have other ones, but those ones would be the ones that affect us. So basically, us, the Canadian Coast Guard Auxiliary, Toronto Search and Rescue, and our sister units, we are the Canadian Coast Guard for this area. So, and again, we are a charitable organization from the perspective of that is how we survive. That's where our funding comes from. But I will let Yvonne do his amazing presentation. If you have any questions, first of all, you can ask them at any point in time. But also, if you want,
We actually, because the people online will wait till the end.
yes, no, that's what I was going to say. Or we will also stay afterwards if you want to speak to us or anything like that.
No, I guess, I don't know, there's people online, so they can come in for questions at the end.
Absolutely,
Yes, that's all.
amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to turn it over to Yvonne, and Yvonne will go through our presentation. First of all, thank you very, very much for having us. We love the opportunity to be able to come out and tell everyone about how wonderful we are. But more importantly, we love meeting everybody who loves the water as much as we do. So again, thank you so much for inviting us. And Yvonne will go on with the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So now the reason why I'm doing presentations is even though I've been here 38 years in Canada, it's not the accent. I can't hear it. It's there.
Speak a little louder, please.
I'll do my best shot. I also get excited. I tend to talk a little bit faster. That and the accent don't go hand in hand. So if I talk about something and you can't understand 100%, by all means, let me know and I'll repeat myself or explain myself. It has happened to me more often than not, so I'm completely used to it. No problem. Yes, if there's any questions, by all means, just put your hand up and ask a question. I'll be more than happy to answer. So, has anybody here seen our boat here before? Okay, so yeah, we do come to Nashville occasionally, get lunch here, and I believe we've rescued a few people from this club over the years. Actually, we don't really keep track, but I think you guys have been our best clients so far. Mostly because of proximity, because we're just out of Harbor Marina. We don't have a general region that we deal with or area, but unofficially, we patrol between the Scarborough Bluffs and Port Credit. That's kind of our area. East of Scarborough Bluffs, it's a Pickering unit. They're closer to there, and then west of Port Credit, it's the Oakville unit. We are part of Central Arctic, which, as Colleen said earlier, is the largest region. We get, of all the emergency calls, we get 80%. So let me see if I get this thing correct. You can see here, this whole area here is us. And now they're not. This map was last year's map. It's being updated as of this year. Not exactly when it's official. We're also going to take part here. So it's a little part of northern Quebec, and a little part there is also the part of Central Arc. So GRCC Trenton, which is who Joint Rescue Operation Center, is who we talked to. The one that passed us. There's one thing to explain, which is on the slide. But if you are stand out there and you see us, you wave, that's great. We'll come by. But we actually can't do anything until we get permission. It's up to you to call for help. At which point in time, most likely GRCC Trenton will issue a MARB. You know what a MARB is? Maritime Assistance Radio Broadcast. And the point in time will be 15 minutes. We'll have to wait. Even though we're right beside you, we can stay there for 15 minutes. We have to wait until any other boater can render assistance. If nobody can, or if you're in immediate danger, let's say, it just hurts. You're having really bad anxiety, something, any kind of medical issue, even a mental issue, they'll dispatch us immediately. Anything else, like your mast is down, you got your tow line, just so your line is in your propeller, the engine's not working, they'll wait 15 minutes. Once the 15 minutes is up, then they'll task us, then we can assist you. And it's all handled by the people in Trenton. So if you do see us beside a boat, we're not just doing time, we're actually for progression. So, in addition, we have patrols, we get to that later, but we also do education. I mean, this is now part of it. We tell people what we believe is the best way to keep you safe in the water. You as the seasoned boaters, I mean, certain things have changed over time. New technologies have come up. We try to promote those, such as AIS, for example, which we get into later. But really, in addition to saving people, and so our goal is try to save everybody. Unfortunately, that does not happen. Actually, when we do go searching for people, there's more chance we won't find a person than we won't find a person. But the odds are against us. But yeah, that's we marine safety, and we support the Canadian Coast Guard. Because as Colleen said, there's one in Port Waller, there's one in Cobourg. That's it. And in Kingston, but for this area, those are two. So this whole part of the lake between Port Waller and Cobourg, it's all different auxiliary units. Most of us are required to be, especially us in TSAR, one of the requirements is to be at the boat within 45 minutes of getting tasks of page. This is overall statistics for Coast Guard Auxiliary. This is for the entire country. There's 76 units in total. There's 90 assets. We have one boat. Some units like Hamilton Beach Rescue. We have two boats. It all depends on the amount of how often they get tasked. We are averaging about 26 taskings per year. Hamilton Beach is over 50. Just for whatever reason, I guess people there are not as skilled, less educated, or just take more chances. But here in the this part of the GTA, both us, the Pickering unit, and the Oakville unit, we're averaging high 20s, low 30s every year. So 900, there's almost 1,000 volunteers like myself and Colleen. 350 missions. This is all 2025 statistics. About 780,000 boats. We do training. I mean, to be a member of Toronto Search and Rescue or the CCGA, the PCOC, that's a must, of course. That's your polling license, your ROCM, your VHF radio license. That's a must. In addition, we do about 20 hours of training in spring and fall, in class and on the boat, to get all the different search patterns, first aid, and first aid. And so we have from marine basic first aid all the way up to EMS quality first aid on our boat. Most units have at least what's an EMR, which is 8-day first aid course. And we can't do surgery, but we can patch you up enough to get you to land. So, so between the 1,000 volunteers, the 2,767 training hours. It seems it comes about 2 hours per volunteer. It does not, because what happens is that once you finish your phase 1, phase 2 training, we call it, which is about 40 hours combined, you take it once, and then every 5 years you have to renew your skills. That's why the number, it seems like it's only 2.6 hours, but really it's not. It's more 20 hours per year per person on average. Okay. And we need to do it. Now, we do train, every time we go out, we train something. I know some of you guys here can probably do a bowling with one hand, I'd be blindfolded. After 11 years in the search and rescue, I still have an issue every now and then doing a bowl. I don't know why, but with me, knots don't come naturally. I'm an instructor, so I memorize it, I learn it, I go and do it, I show it. 5 days later, I try to do it again. I don't know, something happens, the rabbit goes the wrong way, and they just, I don't know, So we do keep our skills. We go out 5 times a week. Not every person, but and every time we go out, we train something while we're out. So this is the location of the coastal auxiliary units. That to the east we have a Paramarine, which is a Pickering unit, and to the west we have a Oakville. So for the whole, so our area, like I said before, is from, again, when we do searches, we went sometimes into the US, we'll talk about later. So we search the entire lake. It's not like there's a border, we have a jurisdiction. Our jurisdiction is where they stands to. But say for efficiency, if I mean we can get into Oakville if the Oakville unit is not available. But generally speaking, the JRCC in Trenton sees who's on the water and figures out who's the closest unit, and they get tasked. So for us, really, as long as you're between the Scarborough Bluffs and Port Credit, we're pretty much within our territory. And all the units. Any questions so far? So, as I say, I do speak a little bit fast, and I don't have the accent, so. Good. Okay, thanks. Again, JRCC has other assets as well. So Coast Guard, Coast Guard Auxiliary are just 2 assets. They have the Royal Canadian Air Force. I've ever seen, so if nighttime, the dispatcher Hercules, actually nighttime and daytime, those some of those dispatcher Hercules airplane. At nighttime, they're dropping flares, lighting up the lake. They also have a very good floor cameras, and the ones that sense heat, so they can actually see bodies in the water based on their heat at nighttime. And they cover a much larger area. So they will also dispatch the 424 squadron. They'll dispatch helicopters. Do we know which type? I forget is it Chinook? No, the helicopters.
Oh, the helicopter?
Chinook, yeah. Yeah, so you might see those. You won't see the helicopters here as much. You see them more in the east, like east of us, because that's close to the base. But this far they do dispatch the Hercules. Also, Toronto, Durham, Field Police, depending which area we're searching, and sometimes we do. All 3 agencies will help right here. So Durham will come from Pickering, Field will come from Mississauga, and we'll meet somewhere here, and we'll comb the lake. 2 or 3 years ago, there were, I believe, 3 different police units with whole boats, firefighters, and 3 CCJ assets. About 10 boats, just combing Lake Ontario for a missing person. And Casera, I don't know if they do that much in Toronto. I know that they're more active towards Hamilton and the Burlington area. So because I don't think we have any airports really. They sweep up and go, but they have closed down. So there's not really that many airports here anymore. All the assets that the JRCC will task to find a missing vulnerable funding. What about us? I know Colleen had a little introduction. This is 2025 statistics. So yeah, we were 100% volunteers. The paperwork started in 2012. The boat got certified and launched in our first mission, let's say our first boat ride as Toronto Search and Rescue was in June 11th of 2015. And I was there. So, again, 2025 statistics, we had 38 crew last year. This year we're at capacity. We got to all 50, and I believe 5, six non-crew members. Yeah. So altogether we're 56. Our allowed maximum is 50 crew members, 10 non-crew members. That's what CCGA allows us to, and we're pretty much close to capacity. We had 24 missions. 400 or 500 hours of patrol time, and our response time was 15 minutes, which, believe it or not, for somebody to get a page that's sometimes at 2 o'clock in the morning, get up, call other people, get down to a boat, or be on the boat and that's a really, really, that doesn't seem that great, the 15-minute response time is an amazing time. If not to blow too much, but I want to, because if you compare us to other units, we're like up here, they're down, and the same.
There's no competition between all of our volunteer units.
No, no. And yeah, we spend 130 hours exercise, different exercises. We did one with actually HMCS York last year. I don't know if you guys saw them when they went to attack the Keating Channel. They had a bunch of boats. They were storming the Keating Channel. That was a 2-day exercise, actually a 3-day exercise. Last year, we worked with other coastal units, with other CCG units, but we do have exercises. This is just different scenarios. There's a mass casualty scenario at the airport happening either later this year or beginning of next year. We'll be part of that as well. So in addition to training and patrolling, we do exercises because, especially now, since we're part of the Department of National Defense, kind of on the bottom of it, there's a chance that we might get tasked to do other things than just search and rescue. Even if we're just saying there, like for a lot of clubs, like this one here, when you have your sail past, we're either there occasionally just make sure that, in case something happens, we keep our less than 15-minute response time intact. So. This example, this is taken 2 years ago. This is one of our phase trainings. This is the in-classroom part of the 10 hours. So this, in order to be a member, you have to pass all the phase trainings. You have 1 year to finish phase 1 and 2 years to finish phase 2. This is just an example of taking the phase 1. And this is combined with search and rescue, most search and rescue, and some recurring members. Now, this is, if you want to be rescued sooner rather than later, there are times we operate. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have shifts between 6 and 9. Generally speaking, we're the boats at 5:30, and we are kind of going towards our dock by 9 o'clock, so we're not there until 9:30 or so. But 6 to 9 is our training patrol time, and typically it's either here somewhere or towards the beaches. That's the main area we kind of stay in and even fall. On the weekends, since it's 5 shifts, Friday is also 6 to 9, but Saturday and Sunday, there are 2 shifts split between noon and 7 p.m. Actually, now it's noon and 8, so they increase that. The same thing for holiday Mondays. There's one weekend where they're noon to 8. So again, if you want to be rescued sooner rather than later, please pick any of these times to go out sailing. And
What happens if you need help on Wednesday or Monday?
You're on call.
what happens is it's gonna be a little bit later, but I can do it right now. On your radio or cell phone, dial *16. That'll get you in touch with JRCC Trenton, or if you on VHF radio, you get Prescott calls your radio. They'll contact JRCC Trenton. Then they would send out a MARB to see if anybody's around. If not, I will get a phone call. The 3 of us in the list, myself on first, Ryan was supposed to be here in second, and I forget what the person is. They'll call us and say, hey, we have a boat in distress. Can you go and help? Then we get our gear, rush down to the boat, and go on our way. So we're on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even Christmas evening. Okay, that's night on the line. It's winter time, boats out. It's not Christmas, but even Easter, if it's too early. And a good example. Any other holiday beats me on. So Victoria Day, 2 in the morning. We're available. So sometime the boats comes after Easter till Thanksgiving. We're on call 24/7. And with 50 crew members now, we are actually able to fill all the shifts. That means the only time that might take a little longer is if you end up, let's say it's noon on a weekday, because a lot of our members do have 9 to 5 jobs. then it might be a little bit more difficult to find a crew as quickly. So find one. It just might not be half an hour response, maybe a 45-minute response. But generally speaking, anytime you're out, if you're really, yeah, you can come in. Thank you. Any questions about this? And this is what Rebecca says. So our part of our training is the phase 1, phase 2. Towing, we practice that a lot, long tow, side-by-side tow, hip tow. With the pool exercises, first day color boot camp. Now, I know you mentioned it, our color boot camp is online, virtual. We don't actually go and dunk ourselves in freezing water and see how long we can last. So that was the idea. Some people were very gung-ho for it on our, as well as I'm saying the wrong spot.
It's all right.
Yeah, so actually it's easier, it's probably see me, it's good, but yeah, it's easier for me to see from the.
That's
because,
okay.
yeah.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
We don't do the actual color boot camp. We do the 6 or 8 hour online. Now the gentleman, this is called Dr. Popsicle.
Yeah.
I don't know his actual real last name. He retired, I believe, last year, 2 years ago. There's still videos on YouTube, other places of his course, but I don't know who does who took over for the can we say it's happening in Toronto?
Yeah, I think it's May 14th.
May 14th.
In person. Yeah, you don't get dunked, but you get the ability to pull somebody out of the water.
Oh, okay. So we do phase 1, phase 2 training, marine first aid. Everybody on our unit has at least basic marine and upwards. We actually have people that are EMSs, about 5 of them right now in our unit. So we're pretty well trained when it comes to that part. And so another partner, I guess, yeah, the 44 Squadron helicopters, Durham, Toronto, Peel, Fire Services, we all work together. We had one of the exercises we had exercises. We had the same thing. We had the fire unit come. We met. By the way, they got brand new, spanking beautiful boat. We went to tour it, see it. They're jealous. That's okay. We did that exercise with them, where we were just transferring people in stretchers from boat to boat, which in practice seems like it's not a big deal, but when one boat is about this much higher than the other boat, there's waves, and the person's trapped in, it's not as easy as things. A lot of fenders and lines, but it worked really well, and we'll be doing it again this year. So pretty much we work with all the agencies. As I said, we practice anytime we go out. It's very rarely that we just go out and pleasure cruise around and just enjoy the sights. Typically, we're practicing something. So this is our boat. So it's been here many times over the last 10 years or so. We've actually 7 years ago we held our phase training in one of the rooms downstairs, one of the boardrooms. And we did a couple of talks. We got at least 2 members from this club that joined us because of the talks we did here. So our boat is it's a repurposed offshore fishing boat. It's a Pursuit 2870. I mean, really, this was a fishing boat, but it's built solid. It's a very deep V. It can handle the waves, can handle the weather. Honda donated. We had twin 225 Yamahas 2-strokes, which were good. I mean, nothing wrong with them. The problem is every morning we turn them on, this plume of smoke would come and fumigate everybody the next 3 docks over. And at that point in time, we were down the bluffs, and our next door neighbor was the owner or a chef at Barbarian Steakhouse. He used to like to barbecue. He liked us a lot. He used to feed us. The problem is when he's making his barbecue and we turn our engines on and we fumigate, it wasn't really the best. So 2 things happened. One, we left the bluffs because the 63 talks were too far east. We had to move more west. So they put us Advantages Bay, and they are still too far east, so that plus of OHM, or marinas. But also doing one of our recreational vehicle courtesy check, I believe it was RBCC. It's one program we do is we'll come to marina or public launch, and before you launch your boat, to ask people if they don't mind, we check their boat for all the safety gear. You get a little sticker. Yes, what?
I've never seen a rope gun. It's a marvelous idea. How do they work?
We have our CCAN, just it's buried deep in, and to get to it, there's no time to get it. What it is, it's a compressed gas cylinder, about 4,000, because your tire is about 100, sorry, your tire is about 40 psi, it's about 4,000 psi, about 100 times the pressure of your tire. You compress into a cylinder, the miniature scuba tank, and that's the natural line. That shoots like a missile.
What's the range?
400 meters.
Wow.
With a very skinny line, so 400 yards, but almost 100 meters, so 300 and something meters. But with a very small line, and then to that line we can attach actual towing line. 100 meters with proper 10,000 pound tow line. Now we do run on our boat. We've switched to we used to have stainless steel propellers, which were great, but we switched to composite propellers. So if we do hit the bottom, the blades shear off, we just replace those instead of having to replace the entire propeller. The main reason we got the rope gun is that when the boat gets beached, we can't reach it without damaging our own boat. So this is a company in the US, and they also use the same thing for climbers that need to, because you have different ends. You can also show it over a wall or a ridge and put on grapple and climb up. Exact same type of just they have the version for search and rescue. Anyway, our boat. Good thing is, I don't know if it's still the case. Again, it's not competition, but we were for a long time we were the fastest. I now know that this one unit in Glenakwe got a rib, like an inflatable boat. It might be slightly faster, but
How big is it?
30 feet overall. But our standard crew complement is the coxswain, who's in charge of boats, looking over everything, and 5 crew members. And we can. It's not the most comfortable fit. It's a bit tight because we have our life jackets are quite bulky, but it does the job. And then if need be, you can probably put 4 people down into the cabin if you have to rescue somebody.
What's that handheld clear?
Learn night vision. So night vision with the heat. So night vision, the night vision. So we have night vision monocle, which takes the light, amplifies it. The green stuff. If you ever watch Desert Storm, that's night vision. A FLIR picks up body heat, so you can even look at anything that projects warmth. You can use actually if you take it home, you can kind of use it to look at in winter time. You can see whether it's any cold air is coming in. Easy for it will show you different temperatures have different colors. So if body's in the water, the face is warmer than the surrounding temperature, it will light up. The hotter it is, the brighter it is on the flare. And has about a 200 to 300 meter range. Not cloudy day. Only downside to a FLIR, it does not work if there's a window or plastic cover to it. So, I don't know. It's
must be infrared.
I have but if you can maybe look, it's I know that Teledyne, which now got bought by Raymarine, they now own FLIR as well. So we have a handheld one. It's about $5,000. The more professional ones is just a little campy on top of a little camera, but those are about 20,000 plus units for it. I have a longer range. Those up to about a half kilometer. Yeah. Oh yeah. So I think that our top speed is 42 knots when both with a full complement. It's and that is good.
Forward-looking infrared.
Okay. There you go.
Who was my friend?
Yeah.
so cute.
We do have a defibrillator on board as well, but now there is some discussion whether or not it actually works on boats. One side says, yep, it works on boats fine. Other side says, no, there's too much vibration. It's so we do have one. We haven't listed because we don't know because they last for about 5 years. Then the pads and the batteries have to be changed. I assume you guys have a defibrillator EAD somewhere here by the washroom or yeah. But, as you know, the batteries and that to be changed. You can just stay there, but they have to be changed again. We have in 11 years, we've never used one ever. I'm hoping we'll have to. And there is right now there is some debate whether or not they work on boats. We have it just in case it goes better. I want if it works, then not have one, but we'll see. But any questions so far?
Yeah, we can, it's easier if we can leave the questions to the end.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Everything okay.
Yeah.
Okay, questions, we'll jump down and okay. Yeah, okay. Couple of examples of the taskings we did in our system that we combined. This one, which is a sailor overdue went from Niagara to Oakville. Doesn't seem that the big of a deal. Yes, he's looking at standard little thingy. He got caught overboard.
Oh, we don't do that, but.
Yes, they found his boat. So the Niagara to Oakville, they found his boat by Moose River. Search went out. He was luckily found by the Hercules. So that one, good one. The fisherman thing near Pickering, very close to shore. People found fell overboard. They had most assets out. Couldn't find a person. Yes, you know. Lake Ontario doesn't make a difference if it's May or August. It's a colder lake. That means that if you have your life jacket PFD on, maybe in 45 minutes, maybe an hour, you'll be able to tread water until you start losing power. It's a little bit. I mean, I'm jumping ahead, but it's only about 26-30% of people that drowns from hypothermia. As you think about hypothermia, but actually what happens is your body starts getting stiff. You can't move. You have a life jacket, and you sink and you drown. So that's more from drowning than hypothermia itself.
How did, in the first case, how did you get called? You fell over. Did you see single on the boat?
They found his sailboat. So they found a sailboat abandoned.
Didn't his friends call it in? Because he was actually going from Niagara to Minico Cruising Boat.
I don't
And
know if we're talking about. I mean, that wasn't on this one, but maybe we're talking about two different ones.
I think it's this one. Yeah.
Because what I know of is that they found the boat, and then we got called because they found an abandoned boat, and
Yeah, that's maybe all.
it's possible that's what we call it. But this one was because they found an abandoned boat, and they figured out who the owner is, and then they called somebody, and then said, "Oh, this person was going between Niagara and Oakville," and then it went out. So this person was in the water for quite some time before.
Yeah,
But I believe that again, I got so many of them. I believe that this person was clinging onto his dinghy.
Yes.
Digging out the water.
The guy.
Yes,
That's the guy. Okay.
The digging was upside down,
Yes.
and he was on the underside of it, but he was clinging to it.
yes.
Yes.
And he was on all fours on the underside
Yeah.
of the upturned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know more than I do, but yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It was a presentation here at Shellback.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He did.
After this happened, yeah. I lost his name.
Nick Kazarovich.
Nick Kazarovich, that's right.
That sounds
And
about right.
the name of the boat was Caribbean Dream. And they found it in. No, it was the bluff.
It was east anyway.
It was east, anyway.
No,
Yeah.
it was supposed to be. Be much less than the boat when it was.
Yeah, well, yeah,
So, no, one thing we're not allowed to do, I mean, you can do it, we can't. We can't say names of boats, names of people, any kind of, that type of thing. I mean, like my head, but, we're not allowed to post, even if you rescue somebody, we're allowed to, post it, get spread for it. We can't, we can just say we had a rescue. And if the boat is identifiable, like, make sure it has to be somewhat blurred out or non-focus. Otherwise, yeah, the Coast Guard, it's a problem. So we can't, that's why all these, I mean, you might know them, but they're somewhat, not generic, but we know that we can't say, and we write a report, but when we do presentations or when we put our social media posts, we can't mention names or boat names or any other, anything that person been identified by. So,
It's a privacy thing.
yes.
Understood.
Yeah.
Especially if the person isn't found, we don't want to be the ones that informs the family accidentally.
So for the personnel Pickering, we got called as well. And this is when we used to run on the 8-hour crew changes. Since then, we've switched over to 5-hour crew changes because after 5 hours, even if you're searching, looking, your head's moving, it's quite exhausting. And sometimes, you don't have the focus. So before we would switch crews every 8 hours if need be. So it happens once in a while. If we have to go to the border of the US to switch for somebody, it might end up being an 8-hour shift. But generally speaking, we now do change crews every 5 hours. This fisherman, that was 3 8-hour crews. That means we had people searching, and then when those came back, another crew would take over and go out. And then when they were done, another crew would take over and go out. So that was that one day. And then the issue is also was depending on what speed you're searching, our gas tanks don't last 24 hours. So we had to refuel the boat before marinas close. And then common events. It's especially during COVID, absolutely you're really correct about this. An experienced person decided to buy a boat. We had a rise, and they were buying boats that were completely mechanically unsound.
Yeah.
But they were, well, not inexpensive, but compared to what the good boats were selling for, fairly inexpensive. So all these people bought boats that were, I mean, one gear away from going to wrecking yard, and they went out. So we had a lot of people that had engine issues, that ran out of fuel. They thought, oh, you know what, I can make it, and they only put $20 or $40 worth of fuel worth. I think for a few hours that would be sufficient. Not realizing that both engines, I mean, I know you guys are mostly sailors here, but both engines take way more gas than your car engines. So there wasn't, and they were out of fuel. We had a lot of those issues, especially early in the spring. The breed. I mean, one of our system units, they had a telephone pole. So there was a telephone pole in like massive one in the lake, and they hit it because it wasn't visible, doing fast, and they were out of commission for about a month. I believe $140,000 in damage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We had a situation happened 2 years ago. Somebody went the sunny side unplayable. They got blown to 15 kilometers out into the lake. The Hercules found them. So yeah, even in the outer harbor, there are sometimes where people go on a little, maybe entire inflatable. paddling, not realizing how powerful the winds are. Now, luckily, they will get blown onto Tommy Thompson Park. The issue is once they're on land, technically, we can't help them because they're safe. Our job is to make sure they don't sink. But this situation, the people were completely not dressed for the weather. They were barefoot, like they left their shoes wherever they into a boat, just pretty much in their swim gear, and it was getting windy and cold. And even with that, the Trenton didn't give us permission to go rescue them. The person says, but you can do, pretty much saying we can't give you a tasking to do this. However, if you feel like that's the thing you should do it. So underhandly telling us, come do it, but it can't be officially. So even if you're not properly dressed, it's cold. As long as you're on land, it's no longer Coast Guard's responsibility. Yeah, the lines on propellers happens. I believe, yeah, we told a boat here a few years ago that had an issue. They're about to dock, so they dropped their sails and the lines got tangled. And occasionally, we'll get people mostly not even from shore because really come that close to shore. Mostly other boaters will wave to us and say, "Oh, I saw somebody there. I think they might need help." But that's not as often though. So this was 42 hours, and they couldn't find, and it was called off. So again, 42 hours, chance of finding anybody is. But this one went for quite well. We were not involved in this one, but it was we were following because that was a little bit outside our yes, person again solo Frenchman's Bay. Without couldn't find him. So they couldn't find him. The vessel or the wreckage, so they couldn't find anything even floating from the boat. So this is the mystery.
Well, what happens in that case, Yvonne, is that the Pickering one is cast, and then you end up as covering the task.
Yes, we covered because we didn't get tasked to go out. We didn't that area that I said is from Bluffers to Port Credit now becomes from Woodby to Port Credit. And same thing if Oakville is tasked to go out further, then our area becomes again from Bluffs up to I don't know where Port Burlington. No, but that one was a big search. Later on we'll show you. So, however, they didn't find no traces of these boats. What we also do, which is something when this happens, they task us to go to every marina on the lake and look into slips to make sure the person didn't actually dock the boat and just fall asleep or just forgot to tell somebody. So, a lot of our time. If you ever see us here at nighttime, going around every slip dock. So we don't do any law enforcement, zero. We're search and rescue only. So if you see us here, we're not trying to see somebody drinking on their boat. We don't care. We're trying to see if a boat that's missing might be docked. So a lot of time is spent going from marina to marina to marina. Pretty much slip to slip to slip to see whether or not they've docked and forget to tell somebody. This one shows for example, one time I had 4 taskings. Boat show, person water, one by Buffers Park, and then one by the because Pickering was also involved. The boat shows is same, and then at the air show. And then once they're involved, if they're available, our area becomes bigger. So this was a busy day, but all within about 8-hour period. So not 12. So very rare. I mean, most of the time we go out, nothing happens. But it's We go out, we have 7 shifts a week, and we have 27 tasks. So it's not, but this day was quite busy. Same thing. Well, this person had their PLB. You know what PLB is, or personal care beacon? Yeah, I'll show a little bit later. So they found them, and this is a rescue. They found this person, and hypothermia, covered, treated. Okay. Yeah. We found a kayak. So what Coder has been doing lately, turning into a boat show. We have now been giving out stickers. It's two stickers. One sticker you put your name, phone, and all information. You stick it on your small craft, and you put this clear sticker over it, so it clears from UV or water. Because if you find a kayak that's floating, we don't know if it got on like if somebody lost it off the dock, or if there's somebody in it and it's no longer in it. So, by automatically, if you see a kayak, it's a mag search. What we're promoting now, and what we're doing on the boat show, and if you're doing events, is some the stickers. And even if you don't get a sticker, if you have a kayak or a paddleboard or something, try to put some kind of identification on it, because if you do come across your paddleboard, out in the middle of Lake Ontario, or just just outside the island, it would be good if you can actually contact the person and say, hey, there's a paddleboard here, is anybody missing? Or is it just a lost paddleboard? So that's a decision, that one. And the same thing, disabled power vessel. This one, the TPS, they came, they took command, and then they actually, Prayer came and they towed back the vessel to preparation. I would say probably about 80% of our taskings, maybe 70, involves towing. 30% involves searching for somebody. 70% is seems to be a boat that's mechanically, something's wrong with it, we end up towing it. And through our rules, we have to tow it to the closest safe port. That means that if you guys are in the East End and you break down, most likely we won't be towing you back here. You'll be towed to Advance Bay or whatever the closest safe marina is. And those are CCJ bills. Yeah, then the second one on the bottom, there was also, you did, I'll show a picture later on. That's happened that we will actually be close to the border, and we have to cross the border. JRC will coordinate that, and we have done searches in the past where the US Coast Guard was involved. So on the water, we all work together, the inside, the US side, even today. So that part has not changed. So we're still all friendly and good. And later on, I'll show you a diagram of a search pattern where we actually, our airplanes searched most of the US side, because when the wind was blowing, they thought the boat would be somewhere close to Rochester than to here. Yeah. This is a typical pattern that the Coast Guard would give us to search for somebody. It's just, again, it's if you see us out there zigzagging, it's just not testing how the boat performs. Just certain patterns that we have. This being one of them that they'll give us, and this is based on the currents and on the winds and the last known position. So depending on what information the JRCC has, there's a search pattern that will kind of match that information. So it's just one example. It's pretty line. Okay. This was these are 4 units. So this one was 1,047 hours combined between the us and the 2 other units. It was 1,047 hours combined man hours.
For one day.
No, it was a little bit. Yeah, actually for one day because we have 6 people on board, and that alone is already 120 something. So yes, one search. This will not been a little longer. This is one search that like you can see the area of how far it actually from where Paris, which is in Pickering, how far they went up almost to October, and then okay, this was one of the bigger searches. Now, I said earlier, our operation. This was with this is the Hercules in Trenton. We covered most lake, and then if you look on the top right, most of that searching is in U.S. waters. So again, we work together. So the JRC, the joint part, is joint also with the U.S. Coast Guard. And last year we actually the Coast Guard from Port Waller found a boat where pretty much right there on the tip of the U.S. Canada little border. We had to. They found them. They call us, okay, come and get them, told them back to Toronto. Oh, yay. But as a thank you, they got a really nice toll line. So, it was all right. I mean, technically, they didn't give it to us. They left it on our boat, and then they said, you can keep it. So, that was great.
How high do the planes fly? How high up are they to look at the well?
I mean, I don't know if you know the exact number. I mean, they're not that high. I mean, when they fly by, you see them. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you ever see the 2 planes from Hamilton, the tourist ones,
The Lancaster.
yeah, they're a little bit lower than that. Not by much though, because they have a very good equipment that covers wide areas. Last year, a kayaker pilot, with a kayaker, went out for morning paddle. His wife called saying, yeah, it was supposed to be back by noon, it's 4 p.m. Search went out. Airplane's flying not too far away from shore, but about 2-3 kilometers from where it was supposed to be down towards Burlington. And he was paddling in circles. So we found the Hercules told us, we went past coordinates, we went there. How you doing? Oh yeah, I'm fine. Oh, like, okay. Can we make sure that's the actual person? Yep, everything matched. Well, do you know what time it is? Oh no, I think it's about 2. I'm like, yeah, no, it's like more like 6, but it's like, would you like a ride back to? Goes, no, I'm going to say, oh, no, that's like your wife that doesn't agree. So maybe we should come get you on the boat, and we had to convince a person that he was not 100% okay because he got hit by the sun, like honestly, that's but yeah, but he was conscious, but he was paddling in a circle, like because the airplane seems that this guy's not like a launch, like just against one side paddling faster than the other, and it was just either way, put him on board, give him some water. One of our coxswains who does speak Chinese, because he was an Asian gentleman, understood that his wife was not a happy person. So, but that was once they're safe on board, it's out of our hands. That we couldn't help them with. But okay, somebody's asking about EPIRBs and PLBs. Very simple. They're both devices to a signal with your location to a satellite. EPIRB is much bigger. That goes on your boat. Typically, if your boat sinks, the EPIRB pops out and starts transmitting. PLB, you wear it on yourself. You also register it to yourself. If something happens, you pull an antenna out, you flip a little tab, that's the yellow tab there, press the button for 3 seconds, it will send out a distress call. So they both do pretty much the same job, just EPROM is more automatic, bigger, longer battery. For both, PLB has been manually activated and it's meant for people. So, and PLBs are not water only. You can have a PLB if you're hiking through mountains and stuff.
Thank you.
AS, does anybody here have an AS on their boat? Oh. So what AS does, the automatic identification system, it's probably our favorite thing in search and rescue. It's a little device. It's not so little. It's about $800 for the Raymarine one, and you register it. It has your boat's name. It gets a signal from your GPS. It constantly transmits your boat's location and name. That means that on my boat, I can put my mouse, a little triangle. I can put my mouse cursor over it, and it tells me name of your boat, information, gross tonnage, whatever else, which way you're going, and how fast you're going. And it's great. So if everybody had this in their boat, our job would be almost non-existent because all the commercial boats have them, like if you ever see this, and then they have it also for personal use. The mobile AIS is on you. So the other one sends a signal to a satellite, the PLB. The AIS mobile one sends a signal to every boat who has the AIS system around you. So instead of waiting for search and rescue or whoever, if you have the mobile one, other boats have AIS system can help you. The previous one, the PLB, goes to a satellite, and the satellite it goes to the station. From station goes to JRCC. From JRCC it goes to Prescott. From Prescott it comes to us. So, and this one only works when the satellite's above it. So sometimes it can take up to 12 hours until your emergency signal is actually found and moved. So the mobile AIS, instantaneous. If you have it, okay. Recording device. When you're wet and you're cold, you try to get on your boat, even if it's this high. Trust me, I mean, it's not easy. I mean, you need every turn of power. If you're more than half a meter, you pretty much have no chance of getting back on the boat. Does anybody know what's the #1 cause of death among duck hunters? Duck hunters, yep.
Being overboard.
Yes, 100% correct. No, being overboard. Being overboard. What happens? They put their pants down, then enter a boat, they lose a balance, they can't move, away they go. One blanket, and they can't get back on the boat because they don't have a boarding device. So the vast majority of duck hunters are found drowned, have their pants down. Okay. Okay. The order like a PFD, doesn't make it which one. Ideally, please don't get a camel color or dark blue, green, orange, red, bright yellow, bright green. Those colors are better. VHF radio, and a brown one. You have a VHF radio. Make sure it has this little, this little red flap with a button. That's a DSC emergency button. You hold this for 3 seconds. It will send a mayday digitally with your exact position on it. So this one doesn't have the batteries. I can pass it around to see it, but if you do get a radio, please make sure it has this little red button on it. So little flap. And lastly, let someone know your plan. So when you go out, please let people know that you're going out. See, check the weather. That's a given. Safety gear. Make sure your batteries are good. Maybe a headlamp. When we did our RVCC, those courtesy checks, a lot of people buy the entire orange kit for $20. You don't bother putting a battery inside the flashlight. It doesn't really help that battery. Yeah. Flares. Now there are the electrical ones, electronic ones, like that are allowed for non-commercial uses. So, but you need that, and you need one smoke flare. So that's not becoming more and more popular. And what you also have now is you have flares that are attached to your phone via Bluetooth, and you can put an app. So when you press the flare, it will get the coordinates from your phone, and it will also transmits. I don't know how, but it helps to transmit your coordinates as well. Yeah, the one with the Bluetooth on it. Important, don't fire up flares during the Toyota days. Even if it's fireworks, you can't fire them off. And it's getting more and more difficult to dispose of your old flares. I know there's a mission about that. So for the time being, just keep them. But earlier, so yeah, only 27% of people drown because of hypothermia, or die because of hypothermia. Mostly is because they'll have life jackets, or yeah, because they get frozen, they drown from just not being able to. And 70% actually die during the rescue itself. In Titanic, what, 120 some years ago, said, so that was an example of hypothermia. So people who died in Titanic, they had their life jackets, they didn't have hypothermia. The ones who didn't, died from drowning. And lastly, you can call, so let your friends probably know where you're at. So you can call them, but the question is, can they have a boat that can help you? You just be the marina. 911 will dispatch the police. We call JRCC. If you have a cell phone, star 116 will get JRCC. And then the best one is VHF channel 16. That will get every boater in the area, including police, whoever, and JRCC. This applies to Lake Ontario, does not apply to very fast yet. So, and that's it. Yeah. Question now.
Every year, a number of sailboats try to sail the Northwest Passage. Do you have any idea what percentage of them need assistance before they give up or get through?
No, so even though we're Central Arctic, we deal with bluffs to. So I don't know. It's I know now that's because it's melting. That it's getting the more boats are going through. So before and then the next.
Yeah, so you do a lot of towing apparently.
Yes.
Do you ever refuel a boat on the water? I mean, I know there are complications to that.
Yes, so we did before. Problem is we totally can't do it, and the reason why is because a person can claim that their engine got gunked up because of the fuel we gave them. So it's a liability thing. So we saw a 20-liter jerry can of gas on the boat, but because
Couldn't they sign a waiver and that way you can be released and go and do other things?
we for any towing, you have to sign a waiver first. But again, for whatever reason, TCG decided not to. Now, what we do have, we have a battery booster that if the battery is dead, we'll hand it to the person. Say, here's a battery booster, use it as you wish, but we can't go on their boat and boost their batteries. So we're limited, but yeah. Yes, go ahead.
This is a marvelous thought. Is it also available in a handbook? Because it would be a marvelous thing to be available for voters to know what can go wrong. And your collection of events is marvelous.
Thank you. I mean, we might be able to make the
Take the new book.
yeah. Well, we make it a book, but we can probably give you a digital copy of the presentation. If you'd like. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we can make those available, but there are many books, if you go to like the Nautical Mind that cover all this stuff.
Yeah. Any other comments or questions? Any comments are okay? Seamus online? Can't hear him.
You have to unmute.
Yeah, I couldn't use the hand signal. Anyway, thank you, Graham, for helping me. I just have one question. I spend a lot of time bird watching, and it amazes me amount of people who are out on my acquaintanceship is with Lake Ontario on ski-doos, and I don't want to get into trouble, but in vessels that I see for sale in Canadian Tire, and I do observe them, and I have observed you guys in a rescue operation of near where the Three Sisters lighthouses are, and it amazes me the amount of people who, well-intended but unmindful, no pre-check, don't realize. And I've even seen families go out on these flimsy boats, and then you'll get other people going in these ski-doos. And I saw something in the news the other night about the city is thinking of banning jet skis or something from.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is, it would be like if we allowed people to drive on the highways. Oh, you don't need a license. You don't need it, and particularly in snowy weather, it would be disastrous from beginning to end. And I thank you for this presentation because it's so very interesting, and it's even made me more aware of things that I thought I knew. I did grow up on the water in Ireland, and when I look back on it, we didn't always do all of the check things that you said. Well, I was a young guy then, a teenager with other teenagers. We were risk-free in our minds. But I've seen you guys rescue these people, and some of them just get blown out in the lake, and they don't know how. And I compliment you on. Yes, I agree. It's very hard to get back in a boat if you fall out or get out. And I'm not a duck hunter, by the way. That's why I don't want to end up in the lake. And the last thing is that your education there's a real need for this education, and I thank you and I thank Shellbacks very much, particularly Diane, for arranging this. And as they say in French, bonne chance, merci.
Thank you. We do occasionally do seminars in different yacht clubs like here, but about safety. So we could talk about AIS and PLBs and take all the things we talk about, but just expand more on it to help people, to educate people what we think will be the most effective way, most effective safety equipment.
Thank you. Thank you, Colleen. And if
I think the gentleman, do you have a question, sir?
Yeah, I just want to, things about it, I think. Is it getting less, more problems today than there were a few years ago, or is it all about saying that?
It's peaked during COVID, now it's coming back down a bit, but not as much. So it's more than, it's not as much as during COVID times, but it's more than, let's say, 10 years ago.
well, I have a wee token of appreciation for you, Colin,
Oh, thank you so much.
and for you, Colleen.
So much.
And it just was an amazing presentation. Thank you so much for that. So much research you've done into it, and it was so good to have this. I'm wondering if we can actually post the presentation online. So that's going to happen, the presentation and the slides as well. On with that, both of them can go up. Okay, that's fantastic.